Hello, tea family. How are you this evening? I'm so glad you're here today. Please say hello in the comments or chat. Let me know what you're enjoying for a beverage today on this hot summer day. I hope you all had a wonderful and safe 4th of July holiday weekend. And we are going to be talking about something very special today. Literally, what actually started as a one event only limited blend now is going to be permanent. That's right. We're going to be talking about Highland Dawn. And I am actually going to be trying to fix some technology really quickly because all of a sudden everything went haywire. And of course, that's what happens. Last week, we had an audio issue. I thought it was a video issue. It was an audio when I went to realize it. And yes, we're back on track now. Okay, perfect. Hopefully, if somebody will say, let me know how it is sounding online today. Are we still having audio issues or is it sounding better? We've got a plan and a backup plan today, depending on how things are going. So we're going to be talking about Highland Dawn for sure. Now, this was supposed to be for our spring live sale. You know, quarterly, 4 times a year, I do a live sale on social media, both Facebook and YouTube. And I create special blends for these that are only available then, or special gifts, packaging, different things like that. And this was supposed to be one of those. Highland Dawn was originally just supposed to be for that event and that event only. Thanks for letting me know about the audio, Diane and Kim. I appreciate it. We've been tweaking some things technology-wise, so hopefully this will work. But yeah, so there was some campaigning. There was a little bit of high pressure, but that's okay. To make this our take on the Scottish breakfast, Highland Dawn, a permanent blend. And so that's what we did. We listened to you all. We did some taste testing at local events, and everybody really enjoyed this black tea blend. So it officially became part of our permanent collection on July 1st. And so we wanted to highlight it today, the first Sunday live that we've had since then, and really kind of introduce it to everybody. So perfect. Hopefully you'll enjoy it. And in fact, my handy dandy assistant will grab the electric kettle for me. I'm going to go ahead and pour some. If you have any questions or comments or anything, so this is what Highland Dawn looks like. So this is our sniffer jar, and that we got for events, because now it's up there. So let me see if I can pull this. There you go, and you can kind of see it's a nice black tea blend. And so we're going to just treat it like a black tea. You're going to boil your water. There we go. Highland Dawn, that's what we're having today. You're going to boil your water, 2.5 grams or 1 teaspoon. And if my handy dandy assistant will give me 3 minutes on the clock for the first brew. Like our other black teas can be brewed 3 times. So the first time you brew it, it'll be 3 minutes. The second time you brew it, it'll be 4 minutes. The third time you brew it is 5 minutes. You can brew it more times than that, but I always guarantee at least 3. So that's what it is. And it is a Scottish breakfast. And we're going to be talking about the difference in the breakfast blends, you know, Irish and regular breakfast or English breakfast and different things like that. But let's talk first about Highland Dawn. Now, this was actually a blend that took quite a while. Diane, you were one of the ones that had said for a long time that you really love a Scottish breakfast. I want to say Amy was also one of the ones that was also saying that she really likes those kind of Scottish breakfast, and a couple of our other members of our tea family. And sometimes it takes us a while to get that right flavor. And that was the case with Highland Dawn. It was definitely one of our issues was sourcing. So one of the black teas comes from Kenya, and it was really difficult because we want to make sure that it's, organic, non-GMO. They have ideally small farm, no chemicals. Um, it has to be a reliable source. I can't just get it once and then that's it. Families, a lot of times we do co-ops, and that's how we found this one. And then researching it and making sure it's ethically sourced as possible. And so we kept searching for the ingredients and then getting the blend right and everything like that. And then we thought we had it. We introduced it at the live. It was very, very popular. So this version of our Scottish breakfast that we call Highland Dawn is very rich. It's robust. It is really good if you want milk, honey by itself. We've actually tried it and brewed it hot and let it cool and have it as an iced tea. And we really enjoyed it in all those ways. We got people who went to some of the farmers markets and they actually tried it live as one of our tasters that week. And then next week they wanted to buy it. And we were like, well, we're just trying it out. We were trying to decide. We ran some polls on social media. Some people encouraged their spouses to even vote. But we listened. And like so many other times, it's like we want to give you the kinds of teas that you enjoy. So this is a black tea. Enjoy it how you will. I typically will drink my black tea with a little bit of milk in it, but I'm not going to do that tonight. I'm going to keep it pretty straight just so I can really focus on the flavors. Diane says that she was only able to get Scottish breakfast from a tea shop on Cape Cod. Yep, I understand. All right, I hear the clock going off on my handy dandy assistant's phone in the background. So, and then you will be able to see if I can get the light right. No, it's not going to cooperate. But you can see there's really big leaves in there. See if I can get that. But I'm going to put that aside because we can have more later. Or my handy dandy assistant could come and make a cup for himself. He really wanted some today. And I was like, well, once I do it, you can make some he can brew the second cup for himself. And there it goes. You just don't see it in the background. Now you do. He stole it. All right. But let's talk pairings. We talked about how to make the tea and kind of what goes in it. It's a series of black teas that has 4 different kinds of black tea blended together in it. That the tea from Kenya adds a really distinctive flavor. And that's the one I've talked about. It really reminds me of the tea that I drank as a young child with my grandparents. But what would you pair with this? When we have a tea, I always like to talk about food pairings because we really want to find ways to complement or contrast flavors. So let's talk brunch. I miss brunch. I love going out to brunch. I'm typically busy on a Sunday morning where most brunches happen, but I would be going for a buttery scone with clotted cream and jam, a really traditional tea pairing. Some savory turkey sausage rolls or veggie quiche for me. For others, you could do regular sausage rolls, something savory like that. A nice hearty veggie quiche would also be really, really good. Sharp cheddar cheese and maybe some like oat cakes or even some pancakes type of thing. Now, if I was going to pair this with something sweet, if we're talking not quite dessert, but really you wanted something sweeter in the morning, I would go with like a honey cake or a traditional gingerbread cake with some homemade whipped cream or even some vanilla bean ice cream on top of that gingerbread. That's actually my preference for gingerbread, is to have either whipped cream or vanilla, fresh vanilla, homemade vanilla ice cream on it. You could also do something a little more unusual. A lot of people don't eat this kind of thing very often, but a dark chocolate shortbread whether it's the shortbread itself or shortbread cookies, but really made with the dark chocolate. And I looked down and I saw, and Diane's like, now I want gingerbread. See, that's what happens. I love those kind of flavors though, because this is a hearty, bold, very robust tea, so it can go. The other thing, see, I got two of you. See, Kim's the same way. She wants it as well. You could even do like an apple tart with like a cinnamon kind of a crust with this would be a really great tea pairing. So let's talk something savory, but maybe you didn't think about. I would do like a macaroni and cheese. And yes, I'm talking a homemade mac and cheese, not out of a blue box, but maybe with like a smoky bacon topping. Now for y'all, that would be a pork bacon. For me, that would probably be a turkey bacon, but really getting that, even kind of cooking it out on the grill and getting kind of that smokiness, and then crumbling it over a nice cheddar based or extra sharp cheddar based mac and cheese. A very traditional mac and cheese would be great. So see, and then Stephanie, she had a pumpkin ginger muffin yesterday and she's like, it was amazing. See, we're getting ready for the gingerbread season to start. Another unusual kind of savory pairing that you might not think about would be like roasted root vegetables or a rustic potato bake. It's really going to stand up well against the bold flavors in this tea while allowing some of the more subtle flavors to kind of just shine as well. So keep in mind, this is a strong tea. It is going to have caffeine in it, which is not a problem for me. But if it is, you know how to reduce your caffeine. Something else, this would be another good one. I know a couple of weeks ago we talked about a barbecue marinade, and I talked about like onyx chai, and I talked about serene sunrise as possibilities. I would actually say making your barbecue dry rub or marinade or barbecue sauce. I would use this tea in it as well. It would make a really good barbecue glaze or marinade because it's going to add a depth and a subtle smokiness to it, a little bit more kind of like some maltiness as well. Let's see, what else? How about something that is not, a lot of people don't think about a tea soaked French toast. So we talked about using tea in other foods, right? And when you do the French toast, you have the mixture of the eggs and the milk and the cinnamon and the vanilla, etc., right? But if you took that milk and you had steeped some tea in the milk and then removed the tea leaves and then used that in that French toast, first of all, you're going to really add some depth of flavor. And in addition, it's not going to taste like every other piece of French toast. It's going to taste better and really, really pair well. And so, a mocktail, this is one where you could do, I would probably put this in with a little bit of milk, maybe a touch of maple syrup over ice, and just like some shaved ice or, you know, really ground up ice would be, would go. So those are some ideas. As always, if you have questions about it or if you wanted to see if another food would go well, go ahead and put that in the chat in the comments. I know I'm making everybody hungry for dessert right now. I apologize. If it makes you feel better, you guys can all indulge. My handy dandy assistant and I will probably be eating our dinner after the live. And I know we're planning on having just a big salad tonight. So we'll be healthy for you. You guys can all enjoy your sweets and your heartier meals. Okay. So I said earlier, what's the difference between an English breakfast tea, an Irish breakfast tea, and a Scottish breakfast tea? Now we have all three teas available, three different tea blends, but so many times people have literally stood on the shelf or in the store and I kind of did it myself yesterday. I was at a location and I got a cup of tea and they had Irish breakfast and they had an English breakfast. And I was like, which do I want? And then there was someone next to me and they're like, what's the difference? And I was like, oh, okay. So if you're not always exactly sure what the difference between an English, Irish, and Scottish breakfast tea is, you're not alone. It's actually one of the most Googled questions about teas. So we're going to talk about that and answer that question for everybody. First of all, English breakfast tea is a smooth tea, mellow, malty, pretty well balanced, typically made from a blend of Assam and Ceylon teas. Sometimes people will add a Kenyan tea in there, but most of the time it's like an Assam, Ceylon. You might have a Kimun in there. All different kinds of black teas, but it's just pretty much a very bold but not overpowering black blend of teas. This is the traditional one. This is what people think of when they think of tea. This is the tea that's really good. It's good with sipping with milk, maybe a scone or some buttery shortbread cookies, that sort of thing. Now, an Irish breakfast, this one is stronger. It's, think, bolder, darker. It's going to have a darker, deep reddish hue. Lots of Assam included in that. I don't know that you can have an Irish breakfast tea truly without having a good portion of it being Assam. The other thing is this one is going to be, if you're getting up in the morning and you're having a hard time getting up in the morning because maybe you stayed up reading a book a little bit too late. I know I've been guilty of that before, but this is the working person's kind of morning fuel. It is going to be your highest caffeinated blend. The Irish breakfast tea really pairs beautifully with a hearty breakfast. So think about the eggs and the hash browns and, like that traditional, really hearty breakfast. Now, a Scottish breakfast tea like Highland Dawn, this is going to be a warrior because, of course, we're talking about Scotland. But Scottish breakfast is going to be kind of the boldest of the bunch in some ways, very robust, very earthy, very full bodied. Though I will say that the tea that is included in there from Kenya really adds kind of a note of sweetness to it as well, but it's meant to be bold on its own. Think of the damp chill of like a Highland Scotland morning. Kind of that's the energy and the thought process behind a Scottish breakfast like Highland Dawn. It's got grit, but it's going to be smooth, strong. It should never be bitter though. Please be careful of that. Make sure that just because it's strong doesn't mean that it's bitter. So many times people really love that different flavor to it. And really when it comes to which one you want, you pick your favorite kind of comfort. Or with me, if I really need that extra kick of caffeine, I'm going to reach for morning Irish. Most of the time, I'm going to do Serene Sunrise, which is like the breakfast blend, but it's got some cinnamon in it. But when I'm looking for just something different that's still a pretty bold flavor, but very smooth, I will go with the Highland Dawn. And that's one of the benefits of when you create the teas, I get to drink them whenever I want, as provided we have the ingredients here. So, like, there are different moments when I will choose the different teas. Sometimes you're just in the morning. If I am going to make a traditional iced tea, let's say I've got some people coming over, I've got some friends coming over to play some games on Friday, and I might make some iced tea for them. And I would probably go with something that most people are going to enjoy, which means I'm going to go with more of a breakfast blend. I might go with Highland Dawn just because I've been enjoying it so much lately myself. But think about what you're looking for. Think about the flavors, and then think about what you're having with it, those kind of things. All right. So, in the comments or the chat, which is your favorite breakfast tea? So in the morning, what is the tea that you are going to be wanting to drink and enjoy at breakfast? Or if maybe you don't drink tea at breakfast time, maybe you drink it in the afternoon, which of the breakfast teas do you enjoy the most? So go ahead and throw that in there. It'll be interesting to see how everybody responds. I always love to hear what other people's thoughts are. And my handy dandy assistant, he's coffee, and that's because he's a coffee drinker. We choose to allow him to have his coffee in the morning, although pretty quickly he usually switches over to tea, or water during the days. So, Miss Stephanie, onyx chai throughout the day. See, I'm not surprised by that at all. But that is more kind of like a traditional English breakfast blend, which is a great one, something like that. So Kim is picking the newest one, Highland Dawn. She was at that live sale and was able to pick some up already. But the Highland Dawn, see that caffeine first thing in the morning, it's really nice. I love how everybody's picking different ones. My favorite is still Serene Sunrise. However, this one does make me nostalgic, and I really do enjoy it so much. So we are really excited to have it be part of our permanent collection. We have sent it out and had some extra tasters during the thing, and it was always fun. They're like, wait, why didn't you have this one earlier? And like I said, sometimes teas just take a little bit longer. So that's awesome. Okay. Diane is coffee in the morning, Highland Dawn, and Serene Sunrise in the top 5. See, there you go. I know. See, she's another coffee person. I don't know. I never developed the taste for coffee. Everybody, this is why I drink the teas. But I love the fact that some of you have already said that you enjoy Highland Dawn. That's one of the benefits of coming to the live sales. I think our next live sale, it's different from our Sunday lives. Our next live sale should be in August, like the end of August-ish, somewhere around in there. I'd have to look at the calendar. I haven't really looked at the calendar lately. I did look at it for one thing and realized I had booked a date that I was like, oh, I'm not even available. Fortunately, it wasn't for anything for the tea business. It was for something else that I could just change the date. But any questions about Highland Dawn or anything like that? As always, if you know somebody that's always wondered about the difference between the 3 kinds of breakfast tea, feel free to tag them in the comments or share it with them. We always want to say hi and answer people's questions. Next Sunday, we are going to be switching things up. Normally, I do question and answers on the 3rd Sunday of the month. However, we will be traveling next Sunday, where you're going to kind of go through our normal morning stuff on a Sunday morning. And then after lunch, we will be heading out to go and enjoy some of Kansas, because our son is coming for a short visit. And so we will be in the camper, and since we will be traveling, it is much easier for me to prepare for a question and answer versus anything else. So that's what we're going to do. We do have a question from Diane. How are the baby trees doing? Handy dandy assistant, can you go grab one of our baby apple trees and we'll do I'll take a sip here and then we will show everybody how our apple trees are doing. I'm actually kind of concerned about them a little bit. We've had an extraordinary amount of rain lately. It seems like it's like raining almost every day and huge buckets of rain. This morning before we went out to church, it was fine, and then all of a sudden it was literally pouring buckets of rain in no time, and then it did stop a little bit later, but there's been an unseemly amount of water. All right, but here we are. Here are how our baby apple trees are doing, everybody. See, there you go. We have 13 of them. So isn't that what we had before?
No. Well,
How many?
We still have 3. We started out with like 20.
Oh, we started with 20. We're down to 13. Some of them have not made it, but that's okay. So there you go. There are our baby apple trees. I think, I don't know if we're going to put them out in the yard this fall or if we're going to kind of try and keep them in the house and keep them going for another year till they get bigger before we put them out. I have to ask the green thumb. My thumbs, not so green. I have other I can blend teas. I don't always keep plants alive. I leave that to my friends and family. My son has an incredible green thumb. Like he can make anything grow, bring back even dead plants. So he's the one who got all the genetics for that. But next week, we will be coming to you from a different location. If everything goes well, it'll be a really unique backdrop because we'll be out there. I'm not sure the picture quality will be as good because we won't be in our official setup here, but we will see. We will definitely be online. Any other questions for me? Try and give everybody a chance to ask your questions. Keep asking about the baby trees, Diane, and we'll keep showing you pictures, or you could just come for a visit. I mean, I'm just saying, you have a whole bunch of friends here in Kansas that you can come visit. So anyway, yeah, meet your friends. That sounds interesting. All right, everybody, if there aren't any other questions, I want to say thanks for joining me. I hope you'll be here at 6 Central Time next Sunday when we do the question and answer. Please send me any questions that you want me to answer live. And with that, I will say have a really wonderful week. If you are living around me, try and stay dry. I think there's more rain coming this week, unfortunately. So, but other than that, everybody have a great one. I will see you all later.
Bye.